Hi. The presentation you're about to see was made back in 1977. The auto industry has seen a great many changes since then. Perhaps no other major industry runs on so fast a track. But in spite of the changes, one important principle remains constant, and that is Lincoln Mercury's pursuit of automotive excellence, our commitment to quality and owner satisfaction. This video disc will show you how it all began.
Welcome to Greenfield Village in Dearborn, Michigan. The birthplace of these beautiful old automobiles and the site of this antique car club meet. The cars gathered here today represent some of the more perfectly preserved and maintained examples of automotive perfection to be seen in all the world. And the owners are among the most knowledgeable experts on old cars and early automotive development that you'll find anywhere. I'm Richard Higgs, and to tell you why these dedicated people spend their time, money, and energy preserving the Lincoln motor car heritage, here are Bob and Gary Adams, collectors, restorers, and today judges in this antique car club meet. Bob, you've been a collector and restorer of Lincolns for how many years?
31 years this October.
And Gary?
I've been in the club about a year and a half, and I'm restoring my first one with Dad's help, a 1934 Lincoln.
You know, to understand our enthusiasm for our cars, it helps to know that the very first Lincoln produced by Henry Ford back in 1922 started out as a superlative automobile and continued to get better during the years. Come on, we'll show you what we mean. Our club grades cars on a scale of 1 to 100. Now, this 1923 touring car is a 98 pointer, which of course indicates it's near perfect condition. Just look at that 53-year-old engine. Start it up, would you, Gary, please? That V8 engine runs as smoothly and idles as evenly as it did the day it was built, and that's over half a century ago. This car's suspension included 4 leaf springs, whereas most cars at that time still had a single transverse spring up front. I'll tell you something. The quality of this car's manufacturing was absolutely impeccable. Parts were held to tolerances of minus 5/10,000ths of an inch, and that's a feat that wasn't surpassed for many, many years. When Henry Ford began production of the Lincoln, he said, "You know, we've made more cars than anyone else. Now we're going to make better cars than anyone else." And he meant it too. And he did it, with young Edsel Ford as president of the new company. Not only were these cars painstakingly produced, but every car was tested extensively on both the dynamometer and the test track before delivery. Ford produced only 7,800 of these 1923 Lincolns, but he produced over 2 million Model Ts. So you see, Lincoln production was limited by careful manufacturing techniques and not by production capacity.
Thomas Edison owned a car like this, didn't he?
He sure did. He owned and drove a 1923 Lincoln just like this one. He insisted on having nothing but the finest, including his automobiles. I'm sure you know, Dick, that these are the cars of the Roaring '20s. And in those days, being able to out-accelerate your competition was a very practical advantage for Lincoln. For this reason in particular, Lincoln was a favorite with the bad guys, and the good guys too.
As I found out restoring my car, in the beginning, Lincoln bodies were made of wood and covered with sheet metal by a man named Brunn. Then Lincoln had its own body shop, but they couldn't keep up with the demand, so they had to hire other coach builders.
This is a magnificent 1928 Model L convertible sedan body. It was built by a man named Dietrich, a name which meant elegance in coachwork. From any angle, these cars bespoke comfort and roadability. You know, it's doubtful that this car looked or performed any better on the day it first rolled out of a Lincoln dealership, and that would be more than 47 years ago. Even the Lincoln literature was luxurious. It was restrained, and it was artistically prepared. This catalog for 1926 shows how Lincoln car colors were inspired by beautiful birds. Now here is a sport cabriolet with body by LeBaron and gold-plated radiator shell and headlamps to accent the green body color suggested by the grass green Tanager. The Merida J was said to have inspired this two-window semi-collapsible Berlin with body by Judkins.
Hey, Dad, we better get back to judging these old beauties.
I expect you're right. Excuse us, Dick, we better get back to work.
Sure thing, Bob. See you, Gary. As beautiful as these cars were, it was no doubt performance that sped Lincoln to leadership among fine motor cars. Four-wheel mechanical brakes became standard equipment in 1927. Horsepower rose to 90 in 1928. And with new all-welded safety wheels, the Lincoln was capable of 90 miles an hour. And the ride was pretty good, too. Automotive technology was growing rapidly in the 20s and led to a significant model change in 1931. The new Lincoln was an exciting improvement over earlier models. The V8 engine put out 120 horsepower as a result of downdraft carburation and improved manifolding. The new, longer chassis had mechanical brakes operated by cables instead of steel rods. Braking was particularly effective, the steering light and springing excellent, and the styling was superb. The car was lower, its radiator more pointed and peaked, the tires smaller and fatter, and it performed as well as it looked. Some authorities claim that the Lincoln's acceleration put it in the sports car class. Claims notwithstanding, the motor car was becoming an integral part of our lives. But some say that it was 1932 that the most fabulous of all classic era Lincolns appeared. This magnificent machine burst upon the Depression with a 12-cylinder V-type engine that turned out 150 horsepower and pulled the big model KB at 100 miles an hour in what the literature called a cathedral hush. Praise for the car came in from all over the world, with the British calling it tremendous and quite out of the ordinary, and indeed it was. The dignity and restraint projected by the Lincoln had always attracted the mighty and the regal, and in 1939, this Lincoln convertible Royal was custom built for King George VI and Queen Elizabeth on the occasion of their visit to the United States. No other car can be imagined more fitting for this distinguished couple. In the same year, this Lincoln, called the Sunshine Special, was prepared for President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The big four-door convertible is almost 22 feet long and weighs an armor-plated 9,300 pounds. This car was in presidential service for 11 years, during which it glided over the streets of Yalta, Casablanca, Tehran, and Malta, not to mention many of the cities and towns of the United States. During the reign of these Lincolns, our country and our automotive needs changed considerably. And so in 1936, under the direction of Edsel Ford, Lincoln turned a most significant corner with the introduction of the Lincoln Zephyr. The Zephyr represents a radical departure in body design from all the Lincoln motor cars that had preceded it. It set the styling theme for many later cars. Smaller and more agile than its predecessors, the Zephyr was a solid sales success. This magnificent car was designated by the Museum of Modern Art as the first successfully designed streamlined car in America. Once again, Lincoln heritage contributing to the American heritage. Some car fanciers say the Zephyr's greatest significance was that it provided the spark for what was to be one of the most beautiful cars ever built in the United States. The fabled Lincoln Continental. Introduced in 1940 as the Continental Cabriolet model of the Lincoln Zephyr, cars like these were the top of the Zephyr line. To understand the Continental, you must understand the men behind it. Edsel's father, Henry, had built forthright, honest cars. Edsel wanted to add a dimension and build those forthright, honest cars with blazing distinction. A stylist of the time recalls that Edsel, and this is a quote, always hungered for culture and artistry in the cars we built. And so in March of 1939, Edsel appeared in Florida with the car he had inspired and helped design. The car quickly acquired a gender. It was a she, a real lady, the queen of classics. No one will ever know the degree to which she heightened America's romance with the motor car, but a whole generation of young people grew up fantasizing ownership of a Continental. And even today, many people pinpoint special events in their lives as the year the Continental came out. Its long hood, short passenger compartment, and rear deck treatment, highlighted by the Continental's spare tire mount, made it distinctively different from anything else on the road. As soon as Continental Cabriolet production was rolling, planning began for a Continental Coupe, which was actually a hardtop convertible. Lincoln Continental effectively pioneering that now most popular of body styles. 1941 models were introduced as Lincoln Continentals. No longer was this car to be considered part of the Lincoln Zephyr line. Refinements for 1941 included push-button door controls and an electrically powered convertible top. Continental production was limited to 100 cars a month, with deliveries on a waiting list basis. As model year 1942 approached, public taste in automobiles seemed to be tending toward frontal massiveness. But the 1942 Continental was destined to have a short life. The United States was at war, and our efforts turned to trucks and tanks and airplanes. Many of the 42s were impounded for military use. The Continentals introduced after the war were, like many cars, modified versions of the 42 models. The passing years continued to enhance the Continental's reputation and prestige. And in 1950, this customized Lincoln Continental convertible went to the White House, replacing the aging Sunshine Special. Harry Truman was the first of 4 presidents to use this elegant machine. The 1950s were the years of the great horsepower race, and everybody wanted fast, powerful cars. All the talk was about acceleration and top speed. And this interest in performance gave Lincoln an even greater opportunity to show its engineering superiority. In 1953, a production Lincoln won the famous Carrera Panamericana, the fabulous Mexican road race. In performance and stamina, these cars left nothing to be desired. In 1952 and 53, Lincoln utterly dominated the production car class, putting up a solid 1, 2, 3, 4 finish in each race. Lincoln was as much at home in the demanding arena of racing as it was cruising along a quiet boulevard. Paralleling his interest in performance was the car buyer's desire for a beautiful, distinctive car. The original Lincoln Continental had been in production for 9 model years, 1940 through 1948. Now, after a hiatus of 7 years, fine car lovers around the world would have another Continental. This car, closely associated with William Clay Ford, appeared in model year 1956, called the Mark II. The car's heritage is pleasantly obvious. The long, low hood, the close-coupled passenger compartment, and the short rear deck with Continental spare tire contour all whispered Continental to an adoring following of knowledgeable car buyers. It was both the most expensive and the heaviest motor car in America, with a price tag of $10,000 and a weight of more than 2.5 tons. In addition, it was the most handsome car of its time, with classic simplicity, dignity, and grace. 1957 brought 4 headlamps, new body styling, and 1959 saw the arrival of such luxurious Lincolns as this elegant sedan with reverse slant rear window and tunnel roof. Beginning with this handsome 1961 model, all Lincoln cars produced by Lincoln Mercury have been called Lincoln Continental. Notable among more modern Lincolns is this 1964 Lincoln Continental Town Brougham. A formal car with splendor to equal any of its predecessors. In 1967, the automotive heartstopper was this splendid 4-door convertible. And just 12 short months later, the Continental Mark III arrived to capture the imaginations of luxury car buyers. Once again, the car's lineage is obvious, from the original Continental of Edsel Ford's time and the Continental Mark II of William Clay Ford's time. The traditional theme is there: the bold grille, the long hood, the low profile, the short rear deck, and Continental spare tire contour. As the story goes, Henry Ford II picked this design from a styling competition, remarking, "I'd like to drive that one home." But the story doesn't end here. The unique automotive heritage of the past is projected into Lincoln Mercury's product of today. And if our children are fortunate, they too will trace the thread of quality from their motor vehicles back through the fabulous Lincoln lineage.
Those old cars have a classic elegance. Now, if they just had electric windows, air conditioning, automatic transmission, and disc brakes, but of course they didn't. Our needs and expectations were different then. You probably noticed that even the cars' names were different when that picture was made. Today, our luxury cars are called Lincoln, Mark VI, and Continental. Each luxury car line is the contemporary embodiment of the rich heritage of cars gone by. And our dedication to a quality product and to owner satisfaction is as steadfast as ever. As a matter of fact, this year marks the beginning of a renewed determination to excel in automotive quality and owner satisfaction. The Lincoln Commitment. For generations, the Lincoln nameplate has represented one of the highest standards of luxury in the motoring world. In keeping with this luxury image, the Lincoln Mercury division has adopted the latest state-of-the-art methods and actions as part of a commitment to our new luxury car owners that they possess vehicles offering the highest standard of excellence available today. This commitment is reinforced by Lincoln Mercury dealers, who prepare our luxury cars for delivery with attention to detail befitting both car and owner. These mutual endeavors on the part of the division and the dealers are the essence of a new and positive program dedicated to the highest standards for luxury car owner satisfaction. We call it the Lincoln Commitment. And we want you to know that it is part of our commitment to quality that comes with every new Lincoln, Mark VI, and Continental we deliver.